Hey guys, Deathbyphiw here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we're going to talk about whether you should one trick or not. So stick around. To start off, I'm going to say that this is my personal opinion and my personal opinion only. I mean, no harm or foul towards anyone who does one trick or folks who don't one trick. This is my opinion and my opinion only. The other thing is I'm going to explain what one tricking is. It's not maining a hero, it's one tricking. That means you solely and only play a specific hero. In a competitive setting, specifically for this video. I'm not talking about quick play, I'm only talking about ranked and playing competitive. You play Mercy and you one trick Mercy, you don't play other heroes when you're playing comp because that's your hero that you one trick. If you main Mercy, but you also can play other heroes like let's say Moira or Ana or Lucio, you main Mercy, but you do not one trick her, you can swap if need be. Same thing goes like if you play something else. If you're a Doomfist main, but sometimes you play Ball or Diva or Winston and other dive tank heroes, that's maining Doomfist, not one-tricking. Whereas one-tricking would be you won't play anything else and you don't swap and you just stay on that hero no matter what. Now that that's set aside and that's in the clear, I'm going to go and talk about my personal opinion. And I think you shouldn't one-trick in Overwatch. I will start off and say that yes, you shouldn't one trick, but you can one trick. And then people will say, well, Phil, there's tons of Overwatch content creators out there who are in top 500 and one trick heroes. Just look at the list. Yes, you are correct. You're 110% correct that there's tons of one tricks in this game. Those in top 500 prove to you that, yeah, you can one trick and it can be possible to get really good with that one hero that you end up excelling and being in the top 500 in the Overwatch community. However, those are few and far between. There's only 500 top 500 players, and not many have that. Not many people have that great of mechanical skill and game knowledge and game sense to be that good. So I'll put that forward. We can get there if we work together and practice and keep playing a hero and getting better and doing better. But certainly it's much harder to do it and much easier said than done. So one tricking is possible and you can do it. And also it's a video game, right? You play the game as you see fit. So I'm not going to tell you not to one trick. I'm just saying you shouldn't, because I personally think as a player, it's best to diversify your hero pool and be able to play different heroes in the role that you do decide to play. I'm not going to tell you otherwise. It's just my opinion that I think that's something you should do. I think it gets you better at the game. It makes you understand different heroes, what their cooldowns are, what their abilities do, and how long those cooldowns are for those abilities. I think expanding your hero pool builds your game knowledge, builds your game sense, and I guarantee you a lot of these top 500 quote-unquote one tricks have played on alt accounts over the years, learning about these different heroes and just absorbing that knowledge, and it helps them play their hero that much better. So it's so good to get that kind of information by expanding your hero pool, playing different roles, and not just sticking to one thing and one thing only. It can make you better, and it can make your experience in the game much better because your knowledge pool has expanded. So that's my first thing as to why one tricking isn't great, and I think you shouldn't, because you should be able to expand your game knowledge and your game sense and learn about all these other heroes and their abilities. It's only going to make you better as a player. The second thing is, if you do one trick, like I said, you're not maining, you one trick, what do you do when somebody takes your hero that you play at that only hero that you play at that competitive level that you're at when you're playing comp, when you're playing ranked? What do? You know, you're now forced to play a hero that you're not comfortable with, or to beg the other person to swap because, hey, I'm a one trick, can I play that too? What happens if they refuse to swap? You're stuck playing something else, and it puts you at a severe disadvantage in your competitive games. Yeah, it's not going to happen all the time, but it can happen. And it then makes that match probably completely unfun for you and your teammates because you're performing at a lower level than what you normally do when you play that hero you one trick. So I would recommend maining that hero and having some viable backups. Try to expand your hero pool at least to like 2 or 3 other heroes to prevent that problem from happening. But it does put you at a disadvantage, and it can ruin your game experience. And it's not fair to everyone that and especially it's not fair to yourself. I wouldn't say fair to everyone. It's not fair to yourself that you put yourself at that disadvantage when you could just learn a few other heroes and help yourself in that situation. The next thing is counterpicking. So Overwatch, the Counterwatch community exists and is so prevalent today more than ever in Overwatch 2. And it's becomes quite a big problem. And I know you could watch videos and content creators like Awkward who say, the countering doesn't exist in Overwatch. When you're as good and as experienced as Awkward, he's probably right. He's extremely knowledgeable and a very intelligent Overwatch content creator. Put everything else aside, we're not all as good as he is at the game. And we could think that maybe we can get there by following his steps and rules in his videos. Certainly you probably could, but time is your friend. It would take quite a while to do all that. And, if you're going to get better and if you're going to have a better experience in the game, having a more diverse hero pool will help you deal with the counter problem. It just makes the game easier for you. It makes it less stressful, and it doesn't put you in a precarious situation where you just don't know what to do. Like, you're getting hard countered. What do I do? And people will say, well, just get good, be better at the game, learn how to deal with your counter. You shouldn't swap. Maybe, but I think why not make it a bit easier on yourself? I mean, you control your fate at the end of the day, and you can learn and you can get better at the game, and you can make your life that much easier in a competitive setting, and truly enjoy the game and become better at the game and rank up. I think that sense of achievement in itself, that you're able to overcome these boundaries and overcome these challenges and deal with someone who's countering you to swap and play something else that help you perform better. I think that makes you feel like you've achieved something. Like you've gotten that much better at the game and you've learned and developed as a player. Well, also some will argue and say, hey Phil, well, there's tons of one tricks that are in top 500 and they're really good at the game. Personally, I disagree that there's no benefit to one tricking. I think sometimes there is a benefit, but I do still think you should have a little bit of a hero pool to back yourself up. It's generally good to have a backup hero so you can play to a decent level, because of all the reasons I listed before. So you should totally, what I would say is, main a hero. I feel like I saw something somewhere before and I forget where I saw it, but it says those who focus primarily on like a small hero pool generally do climb higher because you master those heroes, right? So if you can master 2 or 3 heroes in your role, but also still learn the other heroes, maybe even playing just quick play to make yourself better and make yourself understand those heroes, and know what their abilities are, it's going to increase your game knowledge tremendously, right? It's going to make you that much more smarter and knowledgeable in the game. But when it comes to a competitive setting, you should play maybe 2 or 3, possibly even 4 heroes that expand your hero pool just in case of those counters or someone picks your main and, you need something to make yourself deal with the situation. So I'm not saying to be a hyperflex. I feel like hyperflexing is a whole nother issue I could make a video about, is that you're a jack of all trades, but master of none. And I think that's a problem because you just keep swapping because of the counter swap issue, and you just don't stick to one hero, and you never really get too great at one hero, and you're just okay at everything. That is another problem in itself. But one tricking has its benefits. Hyperflexing has its benefits. I just personally think you shouldn't do either. And you probably should just do maining a hero and have a couple of other heroes in your hero pool for that role. That way, you're not stuck in a precarious situation. You're not stuck if somebody takes your hero. You're not stuck if you get hard countered and a game is ruined for you. You should be learning along the way and shouldn't lack the mechanical skill to play certain heroes to help yourself out and learn how to deal with it. If you do one trick, I mean, more power to you. That's perfectly fine. I'm not saying you're wrong for doing so. My personal opinion is I just think it would be better for you as an individual, as a player, to learn some other heroes in your role, and it would just overall benefit you and make you better at the game and just make the experience better for you, I think. Not all of us have a ton of time to learn every hero. I get that too. We have lives, we have jobs, and some of us have children and families that we have to pay attention to. So I completely and utterly understand. Everyone has a different situation. They don't want to take the time to commit and learn these heroes at a high level to play in a competitive setting. Well, if you haven't already, make sure to like this video if you do like it, of course. Share it with somebody. Drop a comment in the comments below, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really does mean a lot to me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I really am interested in hearing what you think. And we could start a discussion about this. I'm all ears. I'm not saying one tricking is bad. I'm not saying hyperflexing is bad. I just saying that I think maining a hero and having a little bit of a diverse hero pool in the role that you play is better to do, and it's an opinion, so take it as it is. And as always, happy gaming.